Hi, welcome to the Random Hour. I'm Kyle, and today I'm joined with Zemira. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm the cosplayer Zemira Isadora.
So, we are a nerd and pop culture podcast. What are some things that you nerd out about?
I'm a big anime fan as well as fantasy. I love, Lord of the Rings and everything like that. And anime is like huge. I've always been into it, probably since I was in middle school or maybe even just a little bit earlier. And I just absolutely love them. And then outside of like nerd culture, I am a freak for plants.
Mhm.
And I have like a bunch that are off to the side over here. So
Okay.
I'm a huge plant person.
I grew up gardening, and so like now that I'm living in an apartment, I'm like, I really want to garden,
Yeah.
but there's like nowhere to do it
Yeah,
unless I
that's
do
like
it
the
on the
worst thing about
balcony.
apartments.
Yeah. What is some of your favorite anime?
Some of my favorite anime would be Inuyasha is my top. Spike's Family is my next one, I think, and then I'd have to say like Full Metal Alchemist. Obsessed with the the newer ones like Apothecary Diaries, and then some of like the older ones being like, I mean, a lot of people don't really see them as anime, but like the Digimon and stuff like
Yeah.
that from when I was a kid. Love that. And Demon Slayer is a really good one for like the visuals.
hmm Oh yeah, we've been watching it a good bit over here, and I read all of it, and so I'm watching it after because I started watching it and I got impatient, so I read all the manga, and so we're watching it, and I'm like, man, I don't remember the visuals being this good. They're really good.
Yeah, they're incredible, and I actually can't believe I didn't even mention it. Oh my gosh, One Piece! I
Yeah,
do so many cosplays for One Piece, and here I am just forgetting it's something that I'm into.
I know you're fine. I'm a big One Piece fan. It was one of like the first 20 anime that I got into. My start in anime was very rough because it started off with Elfen Lied.
Oh,
That was my first one, and I was like, and then I got to other anime, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't have to be just blood and gory and stuff. But yeah, One Piece is a big one.
yeah.
Your favorite character is Frankie, right?
One of my favorite characters is Frankie.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely one of my like favorite male characters is Frankie.
Yeah. What's your favorite character overall?
I mean, I love Chopper.
hmm
You can't not love Chopper. But then I'm like, why am I thinking so hard about this? Buggy
Yeah.
is my absolute One Piece favorite character. Like anything Buggy related just makes me really excited. Actually, when we're done filming here, I'm getting into my Buggy costume
Yeah.
and doing a little shoot for that.
Okay. I know you when we were doing research because I watch when we bring somebody on, I like watch all of their TikToks, and so I know you did you did a good bit of buggy cosplay. But no, yeah, Chopper is like my favorite character, and so like I've got I went we were at box lunch and they had a cardigan, and so I ended up getting like the Chopper cardigan, and it's got like a giant patch on the back that says Cotton Candy Lover, and it's
Yeah.
really nice.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's super cute. I
Yeah,
just have so many cardigans from the company Steady Hands that like the one drawer in the back here, like
yeah.
it's just filled to the brim with their cardigans that I'm like, I can't afford to buy another one.
Oh yeah, Devin will give me a hard time because he'll come in just like athletic wear. He's just popped out of the shower or whatever, and I'm over here like with like my little mug. I'm wearing a cardigan.
Love that.
Yeah.
It's great.
Oh yeah. So what got you into cosplay?
So I had joined the anime club when I was in high school, and a
hmm
lot of people kind of introduced me to cosplay there. And I never really got to cosplay any like actual characters back then, but I always dreamed of it. And so when I was a senior in high school and I finally graduated, I got to go to my first anime convention, and I had a friend make my jacket up for my cosplay. And that was my first ever time doing like a character cosplay, so that was like really really cool.
What was a cosplay that was most difficult for you to create?
Most difficult. I don't think there's been any that's been like the most difficult to create. There's been a lot of that are difficult to wear.
hmm
Um, and then outside of that, I mean, I'm currently about to start building a big mom hat
hmm
for con, and I think that's going to be my most challenging because I've never worked with foam before. So
Yeah.
that'll be a whole thing. But my most difficult to wear would be my Lord Shishomaru cosplays
Yeah.
because the wig is super heavy, and then you have on, depending on which outfit it is, you have on like 2 or 3 layers of clothing plus the makeup, and the makeup gets everywhere even if you like seal it with like powders
Yeah.
and everything. It's just it still gets everywhere.
I I,
So
I
I think
imagine, especially like right now, this time of year.
oh yeah, I try not to do anything that has multiple layers on
hmm
because it's just too hot. And I
Yeah.
have a heat sensitivity, so I try not to do stuff that has multiple layers.
I gotcha. I gotcha. What cosplay has the most meaning for you?
Ooh, that's a good one. I do think my Lord Shishomaru does have a lot of meaning. That was the character that I always wanted to do.
Hmm.
when I was younger, and I never really got the chance to because I was just too scared to do it until I was older. But I do think that like your Forager also means a lot to me. I've
Hmm.
done so many different versions of her, and I just every time I'm in her cosplay, I'm just really, really happy.
Yeah.
Like she just makes me feel like me.
Hmm.
And I like that feeling.
Yeah. Spy X Family is one that I am currently staring at across the room. Um, I really enjoy Spy X Family, especially like the romance in it, because it's
Yeah.
like a will they or won't they? And
Yeah, I love it.
it took me forever to get Devin into it as well, but he started to like it as well.
Yeah, I just got my partner to watch it in completion up until like, what's
Yeah.
out, obviously. But I'm up to date on the manga and everything like that.
Oh yeah, that's what. Believe it or not, me and my girlfriend just did that as well. I got her to watch all of it, and she's like, "Is what do you mean there's no more?" And I was like, "I'm so sorry, but that's all they have out there right now." And she
Oh,
goes, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "Listen, I have the manga if you want to read it, but that's all they got
just
for right
wait.
now." But yeah,
Oh,
she was not thrilled when we ran out of stuff to watch because she's like, "But they're so cute."
yeah.
I know her favorite character is Anya, and that's also mine because she's just a little kid just doing her best.
She is just doing her best, just trying to
Yeah.
save world peace, and it's so cute. It's so good.
Other than Wolverine, what are some characters you want to cosplay one?
So I have a lot going on. My cosplay lineup for the next couple months, like 5 months, is crazy. I have a lot of characters that I'm going to be doing. Wolverine is one of them. I'll be doing him just as Wolverine, and I'm also doing a Christmas version. I just joined a
Yeah.
collab to do that, so that's going to be fun. I have a character from a movie that was my favorite movie when I was a little toddler that I'll be doing that I'm really excited for. I learned how to use VHS and the
Mhm.
rewinder because of that movie. So I'll be doing a character from the Aristocats for that. And then ones that I really, really want to do is once I know how to do foam work a lot more, I really want to make my own Mandalorian. And then I also want to do Lilymon from Digimon because she's just like super cool. She's a flower. And it's just like, that's so perfect for a plant lover.
So sorry, I'm looking at Lilymon.
Yeah, she is like one of the final evolutions or digilutions
Hmm.
for the one character, and I
Okay.
cosplay as her like tamer. So I
Hmm.
thought that would be a really cool thing to do the tamer and her.
Okay. Yeah. Speaking of holiday, are you doing the Wolverine as a holiday theme?
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm gonna put him in a little Christmas outfit.
This may be dating me, but do you remember Codename Kids Next Door?
Yes.
Anytime I think of like a holiday theme Wolverine, I think of Wintergreen from Codename Kid Next Door, who had like the peppermint sticks for the claws.
Yes.
I know that's such an obscure reference.
No, that just like it's so
Yeah.
that's on point. Oh my gosh.
But yeah. But yeah, I mean, how much prop work have you done for your cosplays?
The most prop work I've done is I made a purse one time. I've made like shawls and stuff like that because I know how to
Hmm.
knit. And then I've done a little bit of sewing, but not terribly too much.
Yeah.
And then I made like headpieces, crowns, and stuff like that before. So this will be the first time working with like foam. I mean, I know how to work with clay. That's another one that I want to really work with, but it's the space that I have
Yeah.
trying to figure out where to like do the stuff.
Hmm. I know I've seen them do it before because I've been interested in doing cosplay. But one thing that's always stopped me is confidence and then money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that they have like it's like a heat thing that cuts through the foam.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I don't know the pricing on that though.
Yeah. It's basically almost the same thing that you would use for like sometime not for soldering, but like it is a soldering
Similar.
iron, and it would just go through the foam. Yeah. More or less, I'm just worried that I'm gonna procrastinate, and then I'm gonna have to rush job it, and I'm gonna hate
Yeah.
it. But I'm trying to be good and start it within this month and next month so I can get it done before
Hmm.
September.
Okay. Are you big into comic books as well?
I mean, I grew up with them. My dad's a comic book collector,
Hmm.
so I grew up knowing all about the comic book heroes. I'm not very familiar with the more recent comics, but I do try to keep up with at least some of it.
Yeah. Okay. This is a very serious question. What is your go-to snack?
Oh gosh, I pick on like different things. So like right now it's like watermelon because it's in season, but I also love popcorn. Like I just love popcorn and salt and vinegar chips. Like put a bag of salt and vinegar chips in front of me and it's over. It's over.
Oh yeah. I remember when I was a kid in high school, me and my friends would get like a bag of salt and vinegar chips, and we would all just eat it at the lunch table. But I, me and my nephew. Speaking of VHS, I would get my nephew into VHS, and then I would pop this enormous bag of like popcorn, and then or bowl of popcorn, and we would eat on it. And I have my own popcorn machine, and it's like one of my go-to snacks. So I absolutely understand that. I love popcorn.
Yeah, I love it. My mom makes all these different crazy flavors that she'll bring when like we go out to places, and I'm like,
Hmm.
"What's this flavor today?"
Yeah. Is it like the salts or like the syrups?
She does the salts.
Yeah.
Like she has different like shakers that she can put on it, and I'm just like, "Okay, what do we got today?"
Nice. What is a character you've cosplay that you relate to the most?
I always say your forager for this,
Hmm.
as she's kind of like this character that she's slightly in that, that group that she works with, but then she's also still like an outsider. And that's kind of somewhere that I felt like somehow I felt growing up a lot. I kind of felt like that friend that was kind of on the outside a lot of times. So I relate to her a lot in that aspect. But I mean, that's pretty much the only aspect of her that I really relate to.
Hmm. Okay. You've been to a good bit of conventions and you've been cosplaying for around 6+ years. What's one of the coolest things you have seen at a convention?
Well, I've actually been I started cosplaying 10 years ago.
Okay.
But then I joined the Navy, so I couldn't cosplay really while I was there
Hmm.
because of space and stuff like that. But some of the coolest stuff I've seen is just like the connections that you can make with people. Like you
Hmm.
just start talking to people, and then everyone just kind of is like so friendly at certain
Yeah.
conventions. That's why ColossalCon East is one of my favorite, because everyone's just so friendly and just like very much like if you kind of go up to a group when you're in like, especially when you're hanging out in the hot tubs,
Hmm.
and you're just like having a good time, like you just go up to someone and like start a conversation, and everyone's they seem to always usually be chill. That's one thing that I really like about it, is that everyone's just like very open. Now there are those instances when there's people that are just not, but I've really never seen any like people being rude like that at
Hmm.
conventions. And it's just really nice to see also all the acceptance
Yeah.
that there is.
Do you have any crazy con stories?
I don't have a personal one, but this is my little brother. He went to Comic Con in New York in 2014, and he was standing in line waiting for something. And this person in front of him, he kept recognizing. He's like, I know this person from somewhere. It
Yeah.
was one of the actors from the Mortal Kombat live actions.
Hmm.
And he was like, "Are you the person in Mortal Kombat?" And the guy was like, no. And then he was. He went to my brother and then saw him on a panel, and he was like, "I knew you were the person from Mortal Kombat."
Yeah.
So that's probably like the only one, because I've never had any kind of stories like that.
Hmm.
Other than Dante Bosco being all kind of like, he was like, "Wow, you really look like Katara." And then I had my blue contacts, and he's like, "You even have blue eyes." And I was like, "No, they're contacts."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh my God." So I think that's the only one that's kind of like crazy for me. But yeah.
We went to one. So I had food poisoning the night before.
Oh,
And then, so I was like so drained. And then we get there. It's not till about noon when I'm able to keep anything down. But I spent most of the day getting chased by monks because they were like, Dragon Ball, we love Dragon Ball. And they kept trying to give me books and like, and stuff. And so I'm like, no, 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 thank you. I'm good. And I did fairly well. And then after like the sixth or seventh time, I'm like, listen, no, thank you. And I would just like start running away from them. And so I split up from Devin and our group. And then I came back and I was like, dude, there's monks here. They keep chasing me. And they're like, there's not monks. There's no monks. And Devin has CP. So I was like, you know what? Let's go over there. I'll take you there. And so Devin has CP, so he walks with a limp. And so he gets over there
mhm.
and goes, oh my gosh, there are monks. And they start coming up to him and he goes, no, 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 you don't want me. I have a bum leg. You don't want me. I just try to hobble away because I just like as soon as we got over there, I took a beeline away. Power to Devin. He did amazing. He was socialized way more than we did. He's an extrovert. And so towards the end of the day, we met this guy in tinfoil.
In tinfoil.
Yes. So he's got a tinfoil mask. He's wearing a red turtleneck, cargo pants. He's pushing a manga that he made where the Gundams help fight in World War II.
Okay.
And it was, for me, the moment of exhaustion and everything. It was just like a bright light shine down on his shiny face. And I was like, this is beautiful. We have to get this guy on the podcast. We never did.
Mm.
But Devin, being exhausted, he hands out a business card and he cuts one of his fingers. So I grab the card and he gets a new one. And the guy's not breaking character at all. He's talking like Macho Man Randy Savage. And Devin's like, please, just, I beg of you, break character for just a second. I can't do this. And I'm over here like, because Devin's going through it. And I'm able to laugh at him because he's my friend. Devin's so uncomfortable. I am like, okay, let's get to the bathroom. Let's clean up your hand. Dante Bosco's there. So Devin's walking. Spatial awareness is awful. So he bumps into this guy in a jean jacket. And I'm just sitting there like,
Mortified.
the security people around the guy in the jean jacket is just, they're looking at me. They're looking at Devin. Devin goes, my bad, bro. And just keeps walking. And Dante's just, okay. Me and the security people are like, what?
What just happened here?
Devin goes to the bathroom. He cleans up. And I'm just sitting there outside the bathroom like, what happened? And I'm like, you run into anybody interesting? He goes, nope, nobody at all. Nobody in a jean jacket. Nobody that's like Fire Lord Zuko. And he goes, I don't think so. I'm like, dude, you just bumped into Dante Basco. And I don't know how you got away with that. And he goes, it's all good. And I'm like, I'm just sitting there like, this man has no spatial awareness, no recognize of what does happen.
I'd be so mortified. I'd be like, I don't know if I can show my face ever again.
I was so worried that we were going to get kicked out of the con at that moment because it's a small little like anime con. And we're all exhausted because we've been there like almost like 6 hours at this point. And we're just like, I'm like, Devin, nothing registered. No spatial awareness on what just happened. No.
Some people just don't have it, and they just
shoot. That's not all. So I bought Devin a sandwich, and then he's like, you know what? To pay you back the sandwich, I'm gonna get you something from One Piece. And he goes buys a hat, and me and my buddy Jay, like, where did he go? We lost him for like a good hour, and we're looking.
That happens to our friend all the time.
We're like, this man has CP. He can't get far. Where did he go? And so he comes back wearing the hat. Dude, what just happened? He goes, I had to go to the bathroom. And I'm, okay. So he puts the hat on me. We make a couple more rounds, try to like network. And then this girl in fishnets, she's wearing a tube dress, which is like really short, and a matching ski mask. And the only thing you can see is like lips and eyes. And it's like very BDSM. And I'm just like, she comes up to me and goes, hey, I need to take a picture of the One Piece cosplayer. And I was like, what? I'm just wearing a hat. What? And Devin,
that's one of those like those like things to get ribbons.
Oh yeah, so there's a guy at the con. Power to him. He kept going for like the full time, giving people quests, and so she was on a quest to take a picture with somebody with One Piece cosplay, and me not having any idea what to do in this situation. I'm just like, I'm just wearing a hat. What? And Devin, not missing a moment, whips out a business card just like this and goes, you can take a picture of this One Piece cosplayer, and you have to check out our podcast. And I'm just like, and so I take a picture with her, she leaves, and I'm like, did you just pimp me out? And he goes, absolutely I did. I'm tired and hungry, and we're going home.
Oh, so my friend, I'm just going to use the first letter of his name. He will be at con, and like 1 second he's there, and the next second he's gone. And the one time he did this, we were at a room party, and we couldn't find him. And we were like, okay, he'll turn up. We know he does. So then he stumbled back in after we all kind of went to sleep. So we all heard him. And we were like, okay, he's alive. He's here. The next morning we wake up. He's like face down, and we're like, okay, like kind of like, come on, let's get up. He rolls over. He looks like he was mauled by an animal. Yeah. He had a hickey from like the top of like by his jaw all the way to his collarbone that was like deep purple. I was like, were you attacked? He's like, I don't know. Oh, but that's why I love the group I go with to cons. Yeah. Like they're the best.
Oh, yeah. Me and Devin have been like friends for like 9+ years. And so we used to be college roommates.
Okay.
And he would go drink. He didn't have a license. He didn't have a car. He would disappear for like hours and then come back drunk. And I'm like, where did you go? And he goes, I don't know. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean you don't know? Because I don't know.
So much like me. Love him to death.
Yeah.
But you're just like, where did you run off to? And it's just like, then it's like chasing cats. It's like, oh my God.
He would go on some like weird quest, come back drunk, and I'm like, dude, what? How? What happened in like the 10 minutes I turned around and you disappeared?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how he does this, but he's crazy sometimes, and it makes me laugh. So yeah. So what's a cosplay tip you wish you knew when you started?
There's a couple.
Hmm.
Always kind of research where you're buying your cosplay contacts. There's a couple brands that are absolutely horrid. They've had, they've injured people. There's been just not so great things about the contacts. Like, you also have to be aware of like their policies and stuff like that. So always know where you're getting your contacts from before you buy your contacts. Just
Hmm.
because they're cheap doesn't mean that that's a good thing. And especially doesn't mean it's a good thing. Another thing is just don't focus on perfectionism. I know it's super super hard. I am someone that still struggles with it. Like if one little thing doesn't go right, I will like I could possibly have a meltdown and it's just like
Hmm.
okay, I have to like recenter myself. You can always improve on your
Yeah.
cosplays. That's something I always say to people. I'm like if you look at from like my first ever cosplay to my more recent cosplays, like there's such a huge difference from the makeup to how I style things to posing to wigs to everything. Just, I'm not that great of a wig stylist, but like, it's still an improvement from where I started.
Yeah.
So you're always able to improve on a cosplay. So just trying to do what you can is the best way to go about it. And
Hmm.
then learn as you go.
I want to ask about wigs, but I don't know how to ask about wigs. Yeah, wigs. What's a good place, or not really a good place? What's a good system for like taking care of the wigs?
So I keep all of my wigs that are not really, really styled
Hmm.
actually in their wig bag. So when I take the wig off, if it's not like so most of my lace fronts, if I glue them down after 2 uses, I will give them a good bath to get like the glue and everything off of it. And then once it's dry and nicely brushed out and everything, it gets put back in a hairnet and then it gets put back in a plastic bag and gets put in a like a cabinet. Everything, all of them are labeled, so all I have to do is pull the bag and go, okay, this is Buggy, or this is Yor, or this is Nico Robin, or this is
Hmm.
Nami, and I can all of them are labeled.
Yeah.
So that's one way that I really like storing them. I have the plastic heads and the foam heads for some of my really styled wigs. I have a couple that are styled by me, and then also I have two that are commissioned. So those are on wig heads and kind of like on my cabinet, on my like my dresser. So those are really good styles. But they all, even though they're on the wig heads, they all have nets over them, just so that like they're not bumped around because I have the cats. They sometimes get up there just
Yeah.
so they're not like they get bumped, it doesn't get totally ruined. And then I have two different brushes that I use. So I have this one that
Hmm.
has like little thin brushes in here, but it also has the wide tooth. And then I also have the it was popular on TikTok for a while. It's
Yeah.
the brush. That thing is magic for wigs. Like
Mhm.
it just goes through them like butter. So that's something that I always tell people, like an brush is actually super super good for wigs, but don't use a brush that you use on your own hair with a wig because
Yeah.
then you get your oils on that and it's just the wigs then get greasy and dirty and then you got to wash them.
Yeah. Is there so like the texture of different wigs? How does that? I'm so sorry. There's a cat.
I was like, on my thing?
Nope.
Nope. A little one.
This is Momo.
Hi,
Oh, he
Momo.
don't want to be held, or maybe
I'm
he does.
shocked
I
that
don't know.
neither of mine are here. So the textures of wigs can help with styling and also like the appearance of it. So like if you crimp a wig, like I have one wig that came pre-crimped and it's so nice. Like it has this like volume to it and it's like super easy to work with. Like I can just brush through it all the time. There's barely any tangles. And then you have like they usually come like not crimped, which is fine for certain characters, but if you want to have some volume or you want to get the shine off of it, or even if it's like a really long wig, like my power wig, I really need to crimp it the entire thing, but it's just gonna take a while because it's so much hair.
Yeah.
But because of her being so long, it constantly gets knotted. So
Yeah.
it's just like it can help with like not knotting. Now it's still gonna happen, but it's not gonna happen as often if like you have it like crimped. And it also helps with styling a lot too because it's just a little bit easier to work with.
Yeah. What has been the cosplay that you've had the easiest time with wigs?
Oh, that would be like Nami's super easy. All I had to do was
Hmm.
trim the bangs. Same with anything like um, Buggy and Nico Robin. They're just two lace front wigs,
Yeah.
and they go on so nicely after I got them perfectly cut to how my ears and everything are. And then when it came to styling, I think the easiest one that I styled would probably be the my Princess Leia one that I did. I
Yeah.
did her outfit from Hoth, and so I just took a brown wig and I braided it, put the
Hmm.
braids up, clipped it in the back, and stuck a fake bun on top of it. And
Yeah.
I was like, boom, we're done. Um, and I mean, It was super easy. It looked awful from the back, but it was done. It looked kind of like her outfit, so that's all I was going for. I just wanted to be recognizable.
Yeah. What has been the most difficult one to do?
So my first ever one that I styled was my Shishomuro, and I had
Mhm.
a hard time with those bangs. But I do have to say, my Katara wig and my Kagura wig from
Mhm.
Inuyasha were
Yeah.
two more difficult ones. Kagura has, I have a cat coming up on me now.
Oh no, you're good.
Kagura, you had the bangs, and
Yeah.
then you also had a ponytail that was a high ponytail that
Hmm.
had to have kind of like some flare out the side without being too much, because then it
Yeah.
would be really heavy. And then Kagome, not Kagome, Katara, too many K's. Katara, I did a high bun on her. And
Hmm.
so getting everything into that high bun was just a little, like, it was a little difficult. I eventually got it, and it was a rush job too. I had like 2 days before the con to get it done. And I did it, and it turned out beautifully to the point of actually the voice actress for Suki, which I'm blanking on what her name is. I think,
Yeah.
oh, it's Kelly. I can't Kelly Kwan, she was like, "Oh my gosh, is that your real hair?" I was like, "No, it is a wig." And then she like got real close and she was like, "Oh my gosh, it is a wig."
Yeah.
But it was styled so nicely and it fit perfectly. I was like, "This is awesome."
Yeah.
But it did give me a lot of trouble. I stayed up. I literally worked on it for 2 days just straight. I was like, "Oh my gosh." But my Shinobu wig was a little bit difficult, more or less because I was scared of her bangs.
Hmm.
But I got it done, and
Yeah.
once I got it done, I was like, "That wasn't so bad."
That's the
Yeah.
one you did with a mix of Demon Slayer and Raven, right?
Yeah, so I wore my Shinobu wig for that one. I mean, I've done the Shinobu cosplay as well, and I actually did
Yeah.
her as a demon too, which was really cool. But yeah, I mixed her with Raven from Teen Titans for a collab that I was hosting, and it
Yeah.
just turned out super, super cool.
Yeah. What have you done any other collabs?
So I've done a lot of collabs,
Hmm.
but crossover ones I've done. So I just did Nico Robin and Riza Hawkeye. I crossed them over. I did Your Forager and Morticia Adams, and I've also done Anya Forager and Wednesday Adams.
Yeah.
And I wanted to do Ace and Roy Mustang because it's the same
Yeah.
voice actor. So I thought that would be perfect, and they're both fire users, so
Hmm.
incredible. I wanted to do Nico Robin and Frankenstein's bride, the Bride of
Yeah.
Frankenstein. I wanted to do her for Halloween. I just never got around to it.
Mhm.
And then I don't know if I've done any other ones that I can think of. But yeah, my Raven and Shinobu one I think is my Your Forager and Morticia I think are my two favorites.
So get your butt out of the frame.
I know. Oh, he's under my feet. I'm like, where did he go? Under the chair. If I wheel my chair, I'm going to crush my cat. Just saying.
All right.
Buddy. Do you have to be right there? Hi. Don't bite me. Unless it's love bites. No. Okay. No.
How have you tackled the wigs when it comes to like hair accessories and like, because I know a lot of them have a lot of anime characters don't always follow the laws of gravity.
Yeah. So my Shinobu ones are just kind of two. I got them off of Etsy, and they're just two little bobby pins that stick in the back.
Hmm.
So that was pretty easy. And really, that's been other than well, Buggy. I did the one where I put his hair up in a hair clip. Actually, the hair clip is like right here. Yeah. So like it was just a hair clip like this. And then I do have a cherry bomb wig from Hasbin Hotel, but that was a commission because I don't have the skills yet to make those gravity defying things. So she has like this big connection for her hair. One of these days I'll actually do the cosplay. I have the cosplay, I have the wig, I just need the contacts and to do it.
Yeah. Okay. What tattoo has the most meaning for you?
Oh gosh. So all of my tattoos have meaning. Like actually like every single one of them. So the one on my back is my heritage. This one on my shoulder is all of the women in my life. So my great grandmother, grandmother, my nanny's on the back, and my mother. I'm from Pennsylvania. I got this right before I deployed. I'm a Cancer. My mother has this tattoo also on her forearm here. This is how many nautical miles I sailed in the Navy. I got this with an old friend, but suicide awareness and everything like that. I have a cat on my ribs that eventually is going to have my two cats' names.
Yeah.
And then the one that doesn't have really much meaning would be my crystal that I have on my ribs because I just was like, I want a crystal. I like crystals. So let's go And then my two legs, I have one of my favorite animals is a lion. My actual favorite animal is a fox, but I do love lions, and especially when back then I was like, lions are my favorite. So I got a lion tattoo, and then my other leg is a deer because
Mhm.
both of my grandfathers are hunters,
Yeah.
and so around their antlers are eventually going to get their names and everything.
If you could be transported to any fictional world, which one would you choose?
I would probably do Lord of the Rings,
Hmm.
or I would do Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you have a specific planet you would want to go to?
I would like to go to Tatooine. No, not Tatooine. Wow. Yeah. Is it Tatooine? No, that's the desert one. My brain just went right there. I don't like the heat. I'm not
Yeah.
a heat person. Naboo.
Yeah.
I'm literally sitting there thinking of the lake scene, and I'm like, yeah. And then I said Tatooine.
It
Need more
happens.
caffeine.
Where would you go in the Lord of the Rings universe?
I would go to Rivendell. I mean, I love the Shire, but Rivendell
Yeah,
is just beautiful and sparkly.
it is. Let's see. If you could sit down with any fictional character, which would it be?
Any fictional character. I think I would like to hear the stories and the travels of Gandalf the most because he's been around for so long and he's done so much that I would love to hear his stories
Yeah.
outside of what we know from Lord of the Rings.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah, because it's been a minute since I've listened to the audiobooks and watched the movies repeatedly. But yeah, each race had called him a different name, and so he had a lot
Mm-hmm.
of journeys. Have you watched Rings of Power at all?
I watched the first season and then I just haven't gotten around to watching the second season. I've just been watching so many other things that I'm just like, one of these days I'll sit down and watch this.
Oh yeah. Hi. Me and my girlfriend were watching Rings of Power, and then we finished it, and she was like, "Hey, I want to watch Lord of the Rings," and I was like, "Absolutely." And she's like, "Why are we watching The Hobbit? I want to watch Lord of the Rings." And I was like, "No, no, no, no. You can't just start on Lord of the Rings. You have to work your way all the way through the story."
So my partner, before we started like really
Yeah.
talking, we like kind of dropped the lore that he never saw Lord of the Rings, and I was like, "What?" So I asked him to come over and watch Lord of the Rings, and I made him watch the 1970s animated Hobbit first because he's like, "Well, I've seen the Hobbit movies," and I was like, "Okay, you've seen the Hobbit movies, but you haven't seen Lord of the Rings." So I made him watch the original animated Hobbit because that's my favorite Hobbit. And then we watched all of the Lord of the Rings,
Yeah.
and that's how we actually started dating. Was
Yeah.
because of that. So
That's
Lord of the Rings means a lot to us.
Yeah, we have a movie review podcast, and Devin, I'll hand it to Devin. His wife watches Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I know because I exchange Lord of the Rings memes with her and Harry Potter memes with her like every other day. So I got him to like watch it for the podcast because we also have a movie review podcast, and so we are watching it, and I was like, no, 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 you don't understand. And so we're watching it, and he's like, what are we watching? I was like, this is the original 1977 The Hobbit, and he goes,
Yep.
okay. And then the live action slash animated, it is so trippy because the animation style for the 1978 Lord of the Rings, oh no, sorry, Return of the King, and it's a combination of cell drawings, overlay of live action. So the
Yeah.
art style is just so off the wall. And he's like, "What is happening?" And I'm like,
I haven't watched those in forever. I have to sit down and be like, okay, we're watching these tonight.
"Hey, you got something to do after this?"
Yeah.
Yeah. But we've got one last question for you.
Okay.
Where can the people at home find you and your content?
So you can find me on Instagram and TikTok under the username of Zemira_Isadora, and you can find me also on YouTube as Zemira_Isadora_cosplay. I try to post daily on TikTok, and I'm trying to post daily on YouTube. Not really getting there yet, but trying. And Instagram, you'll find most of my photos. It's where I also interact a lot with people, and I post a lot of stories, which includes a lot of just photos of my cats, but a lot of just other like life stuff going on. So
Yeah.
it's, I think, a little bit more personable.
Yeah. Speaking of, I got one right there, and then if I just go like this, another right here.
If I could reach him and pull him up, I would. His name is Hudson Cyrex. Come here. I don't want to roll you over. I
Oh yeah.
know.
The gray one I got with the half mustache, her name is Luna. So we were gonna get a cat named Banana Pudding, which is a beautiful like light yellow. Oh, hi there.
Yeah, this is Hudson Cyrex. He's been over here for 2 months. Yeah. I adopted him like 2 months ago because I
Yeah.
wanted another cat. You're sleepy from your vaccines this morning. Yeah. You also smell like poop. Thanks.
Yeah, one of mine got poopy butt. I gotta clean her later.
I know, I'm putting you down. There we
Yeah.
go.
So yeah, she. Oh my gosh. So we went to the Humane Society to get a cat because we were like, we don't have enough time to get a dog. It's our anniversary present, and so we got a cat, and then
Mm-hmm.
we were gonna get this cat named Banana Pudding. She was beautiful, like light yellow. She hated other cats though, and so
Mm.
between her and another cat, and they were like, we got one more cat we want to show you, and then this little cat hunkered down, terrified of everything, little social anxiety bug. And
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
I looked at my girlfriend and I was like, we're getting this cat. If we don't get this cat, she's gonna stay at the place for so long because she's so
Yeah.
nervous. So we get her, and she's great with me. She'll come up to me and cuddle with me. She's super shy, and I'm like, we just got to give her time. And my girlfriend's like, no, we got to get her out. We got to make sure she explores. I'm like, no, we don't need to rush it. So she blocked off her hiding spot, and then we lost her for 2 days.
Oh my gosh.
She was in the cabinet in the wall, and so we had to get her cut out. And so I'm terrified for this cat, and so we put in a maintenance request. And I go down there and I was like, hey, I want to check on my maintenance request about my cat. And they're like, oh, it's just a kitten. We can pull her out. And I'm like, she's not a kitten. She's a cat.
Yeah.
She's going to have to be cut out. She can't get out. I'm having to feed her through like a hole. And so
Thank God I would have broke through the wall.
I came close to doing
Freaked
it.
out.
I came so close. So this girl from like the front desk comes over. She starts pulling on my cat, and I'm like, and it's just like, well, it's a good thing I'm wearing shorts under my dress. And I'm like, I'm not looking at you. I'm worried about my cat. And so she's like, yeah, we're gonna have to get her cut out. So the fire department shows up, and they're like, we don't normally do this. And I'm like, I know. I put in a maintenance request, and they denied it, and they tried to yank my cat out of the wall because they're covered in smoke. They just got done with their training, so they were upset, hot and sweaty. And so
Yeah.
we both were like, oh, both of us are mad about this cat being in the wall. But she's been really good since. We got another cat. She was a little autistic girly, and she did not like Luna. And Luna got
No.
so depressed because she was like, I just want a friend. She would just come up to her and be like, you want to play? And the other cat would be like, and both eyes are going different directions. She's just like smack her,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, we can't keep both of them.
Yeah, so I have an 11-year-old, and I introduced this orange fur ball to
Yeah.
her, and she's a calico. So it's true about calicos; they have a mean streak, and she is nasty sometimes to humans and to animals. And introducing them was awful at first,
Yeah.
and it took maybe a week for her to really be comfortable with him. And now they sleep like a foot away from each other. And it's just like, and like last night, she got a wild hair and she went flying at him sideways and hit the carpet at the front door and slid. And just, it was so goofy. And we were sitting there laughing. And then she tried to jump into a bag and knocked the bag over. And so she then scrambled out. It was like straight out of a cartoon. We were cracking up. And he's just sitting there watching her like, what just happened? And then he chased after her. And then they played chase for probably about like 20 minutes. And then she was like, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. So she got mean and hit him. But that's how they play.
This is Momo. He's named after the One Piece character.
Okay, Momonosuke.
Yeah, he's a little hellion. He does shit because he wants to know if he can.
Yep, that's Hudson. He was on top of my microwave, which is attached to my cabinets, like the little ledge of this big. Oh, there's my other one. Where did you come from?
He's a little goblin. He eats up food like crazy. Sometimes he just does weird shit. He'll run at me, and I'll be like laying on the bed, and all of a sudden I feel something like hit my butt, and he just like slapped my butt, and I'm like, what? And it's not like it's a normal thing. He's done it like twice now this week alone, and I'm just like, Hannah, your cat keeps slapping my ass. And the only thing she'll say, well, he's got good I'm like, no, don't encourage this behavior.
So if you look over here, all the ivy up top, so it used to dangle completely down until he started chewing on it and eating the leaves, and they're fake. And I was like, oh my God. And he also would do it at like, 3 a.m. So we hung them all up. And then I had a bunch of plants over here that I did end up moving, but I have a bunch of them still here. And he leaves these alone. But the other ones that were here, he was chewing on like nightly basis to try and get me up. And then he ate the face of one of my favorite dragons that I have. He ate the face completely off of it and then has been throwing it up or pooping it out since. And I'm like, this is awesome. Because it's just like, why would you? And he's like shaking one of my plants now. Like, thanks for making it a jungle over here.
There's been multiple times at night where I'm just like, I hear, and I'm like, gosh. And I
Yeah.
look on the side of the bed, and it's just Momo like this, spider crawling on the side of the couch or the bed. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah. He also likes lampshades, so I have to
Mm,
change out my lamp here because he literally attaches himself to the lampshade.
yep.
He's taken the screen out of one of the windows. He knocked it just straight out the window in the middle of the night. That was great. Me and my partner woke up and we're just like, "What is happening?" But yeah, he's a ginger and he's 3, so he's in that age range of just energy.
Yeah.
So yeah, love him though. Like super happy I got another cat. I was thinking about getting a dog, and then I learned that I am not a dog person.
Yeah.
I used to foster dogs a lot, and I just get so overstimulated by them that I'm just like,
Mhm.
I can't. Like a cat, I can kind of be like, go away, and then they'll kind of leave you alone. But not a dog. They're like, hi, you're acknowledging my existence.
Oh yeah.
So
We were gonna get another dog because I have a dog back in where I lived before I moved in with my girlfriend and we moved in together. But we were like, my family wanted to keep my dog because it was a piece of me they could keep,
mhm.
and she's living her best life. She's chunky now, but she was. We were like, should we get a dog? Should we get a cat? And I was like, we both of us work too much to get a dog and like properly take care of it in an apartment.
Yeah.
We should get a cat, and so we got a cat, and so now we got two little cats,
Yeah,
and
we have R2, and
everyone,
like
they
my
play
house
a
would be
lot
perfect
now.
for a dog, but
I think I muted myself. No, let's see. I think it's fine.
like, yeah, I
There
can
we
hear
go.
you.
Okay, all good. Yeah, they unplugged my mic a little bit ago, so
Yeah, that's why they're both up here. This is also my partner's microphone, so I have no idea how I'm using this. I'm like, let me just try this and see if it works. And then I'm like, okay, I need a cord. Digging through his drawers, I'm like, oh, there they are. Cool. He uses this for work because he works from home on certain days of the week.
yeah. Oh my
So
goodness, it's gassy. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, this one, he's run up to me and my girlfriend on multiple occasions and would just go and just like run off. And I'm like, did I just get crop dusted by a kitten? Yeah.
oh
But
yeah.
yeah, thank you for coming on.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Is there anything else you would like to say before we end it?
No, I look forward to any other future podcasts that you got.
Thank you.